I'm texting people right now. It's like I can't even deal with some of these people right now. You know, friends, family that I love and whatnot, that were okay cheering on this fucking censorship bullshit, calling all the political speech out there, the QAnoners, cesspools, and then trying to tie everything that they say and they do with violence and giving them excuses to censor them down. Why? Fam, once you start opening to the shit floods of censorship for one side, you leave it for all sides. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah, I mean, this is why we were so adamant, about being against censorship, even way back when Alex Jones was deplatformed. We were both like, oh yeah, I'm not a fan of Alex Jones at all, but like the moment you deplatform him, it's gonna send this domino effect. And then that's what started happening. Channels started getting taken down slowly. And we also said as soon as Joe Biden got in, because he got so much money from Google, which owns YouTube, and Susan Wojcicki got on there talking about the elections and how they were going to control what was going on in the elections. And then you get Kamala Harris and all these other neoliberals talking about how you need to take down Trump's Twitter and all of these accounts. And then you get the Democrats continuing to talk about more censorship to harmful misinformation. The problem is that they aren't the arbiters of truth. They're not the ones who should be allowed to decide what you hear, what you don't hear. And we actually haven't peddled the closest thing to that they would consider conspiracy would be the elections, which we had already made private, the election videos that we had done. So it doesn't make any sense. And they tell you specifically, they don't tell you specifically what you did wrong. They just say it's harmful content. So you can't even know what to fix or remove. Basically, it's just bullshit that they're trying to just get your shit taken down. They want to target your economics, because if they target our economics, then they can get us to stop doing this, because they specifically said on CNN and MSNBC there's too many YouTubers that are talking about things that aren't the true narrative, and that they should be attacked, and they should be taken down. And to all the people who said people should get taken down because of the election, all of you can go fuck yourselves, because now they're going to target every single one of us. They're targeting leftist accounts left and right, literally right now.
Yep. And this whole bullshit, they're trying to say, listen, like I'm just getting in an argument with my good friend over here, whatnot, and he was trying to kind of saying, well, it's been a cesspool of stuff, what's going on YouTube, and these MAGAs and these QAnoners, and they're getting out of control, and freedom of speech doesn't mean you can incite violence and stuff. And then you're trying to, draw these lines to say, well, remember what happened in the church in Alabama last year? That has nothing to do with what happened on the internet. Okay, it has nothing to do with what happened on the internet, and it doesn't make a difference. Listen, once you start crossing that line of fascism, when you start saying that, okay, we have to protect people because of their political speech out there, and they're not inciting violence, they're not telling you to go do it, and you start drawing that line, right. Well, they mean it to do it. They just did it to the president. They just did it to us. They're going to continue to do it. This is ridiculous. Once again, you said big tech shouldn't be the arbitrators of truth, right? They shouldn't decide what is right or what's wrong. That's for you to decide. You, ladies and gentlemen, the citizens, not them. But they did this, and I told my mother this. I said, Mom, Joe Biden becomes president, our channel will be at least taken down. At the very least, it will be demonetized, and they'll try to cut our monetary source so we won't do this full time. So what we need you to do, ladies and gentlemen, more than ever, because I'm saying it with serious conviction today and some serious passion. I know I've been saying this a lot of times, and we make the jokes, I'm a civil liberties guy and all that shit, but this is serious right now. They just took away a third of our income today, this morning, about an hour ago. Why? What did we do? What did we say? Are we really in the realm of causing violence and stuff? This is ridiculous, but you see who else they take down, and they're just starting to go through it. Ford Fisher, all these other people, we're going to go over it. Franco, we're going to go over them all right now, but do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen, and you guys have been awesome. We have 103 subscribers on our Rockfin, ROKFIN. That is the platform. That is the saving grace for us. I'm so glad we joined this platform over a year and change ago. Thank you, Ron Placone and Graham, who made us get onto this, and we turned Niko onto this. This is a platform right here that is really helpful for us, ladies and gentlemen, because they don't censor what we have to say. We had an argument back in the days when it came to the debates, when it came to certain events, Super Tuesdays and stuff, especially the debates. The debates back in the days when I was growing up were considered public access, where anybody can use them. Fair use. It is selecting the person who's going to run the free world, and the public has interest to it. So if we commentate over it, it should be legal. But they've gone a step further now, saying what you say on your own private channel with your own people is no good, and we're going to cut the cords.
Yeah.
Johnny, you got anything to say about this? I want people to hear your initial. We get the camera back soon, so we get on Johnny's pretty face. But Johnny, your thoughts on this right now? You're 20-something odd years old. I'm 47. So it's a little bit stunning to me because I lived through a period where we had a lot of talks about free speech, and I thought we got past the flag burning bullshit. This was way back before Clinton and stuff, and.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous, fams. You guys are right. When they took down Alex Jones, that was going down the slippery slope. We don't agree with a lot of what Alex Jones says, but he has the right to his free speech on the platform. Yeah. And we need to nationalize YouTube, and I'm really thinking that we need to have a protest at YouTube, because this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. And that's why they're going to still milk this. They're going to milk this COVID situation. They're already doing it here in where we live. There's stuff still closed down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like they're going to, the 100-day mask mandate, this is serious. And they're going to tell people to stay at home and keep them frightened. And when you have all those people who were on those QAnoners or whatever they were, or those conspiracy theorists, or just people who think differently than just what's in the mainstream, who are saying, well, back in the days, people used to commiserate together, get together, congregate, talk about what's going on in bars and restaurants, and make plans, and then go out and take it to the streets. So a lot of people said, well, that's what COVID was also about, milking the fact that people can't come together and speak against this great reset right here, what they're trying to do. This is a great reset, what they're trying to do. They're trying to erase dissenting voices. So the state, along with big tech, who's merged together, which is real fascism, can control what you hear, what we say, and what the plebs hear.
Yeah, I mean, this was expected. When Graham got his channel demonetized, I was like, we're next, because we have very similar content. We talk about similar subjects, and it was around the realm, and so we were like, yeah, we're next. And then we saw this today, like an hour ago, and then somebody had asked me, are you still monetized? Because I got demonetized. And then today, now I'm seeing all of these accounts, they just said Progressive Soapbox is also demonetized. So now we have Progressive Soapbox, Franco, Ford Fisher, Graham, us. Who's next? Everybody, because we all have very similar content. Now, if you don't really push the envelope and report truth, you may slip by. Like, if you're not really targeting the Democratic Party, if you're not talking about foreign policy, and if you're not talking about civil liberties and this national security state, you might get a pass because they might not see that as a threat. Yeah. But if you're talking about those big things, like we're talking about like foreign policies, national security, state, civil liberties, and then the Democratic Party criticisms, you're going to be shut down. And that is fascism, because so many people sat here on their fucking high horse saying, I'm voting for Joe Biden to stop, the deportation of immigrants. That's continuing. It's continuing just like it was before. Oh, I'm voting for Joe Biden because Donald Trump is a sexist, racist, homophobe. Okay, Biden, we know his record. His record says otherwise, correct? And so now they're like, oh, yeah, well, at least Biden is going to stop fascism, these fascist white supremacists. Well, you see, those are a few people that exist, and they exist, that Trump was kind of dog whistling to many times, right? Nobody's going to deny that. But this type of fascism that they're making you ignore while getting you focused on the boogeyman still, if it's not Trump, it's his supporters. If it's not his supporters, it's a bunch of, people, insurrectionists, etc. Those people that they're making you focus on, they're not the huge danger to me as a working person, or to you. The people that are of huge danger are the people that control this, that control YouTube, that control the mediums, that control exactly what goes on behind the scenes and promote this cryptic fucking fascism that we're seeing right now. It's cryptic fascism. We live in a fucking fascist failed state right now.
Yeah. And let me just say this much too. It's not only just about what you say, it's what you don't say. Notice that David Dole and Pac-Man and all these other guys that just rag on Trump 24/7. TYT, rag on Trump 24/7. Oh, let's elevate that. Let's boost them. Let's put them up. While other people on the left who are saying, let's be critical of the people who allow them to do these things, the Democratic Party or the establishment, let's shut them down. And I also want to send a message out there to all you neo-progressive people out there that I used to protect all the time and say, hey, man, these people have good intentions. They mean well. You are fucking dangerous. You allowed this shit to happen, okay? And a lot of you out there with your white savior complex and all your bullshit, you could shove it up your ass right now. Look what they're doing. You just wait. Because the Gestapos are going to fucking come, and they will come for you the second you speak out against them.
And they're not going to look like the Nazi Germany Hitler. That's the thing. Because of what happened before, they want people to fear more of that. So they have you looking in one direction. And while they're doing that, this is happening. This is actually the corporate state merging, right, with the government. Because people can say till they're blue in the face, oh, yeah, but they're in a private company. They can do whatever. No, they're not just a private company. They influence the fucking government. Name me a small private business that influences the government the way YouTube and Google do. They actually donate to candidates. They actually influence legislation. So you can't just say that they're a private company. Same with Twitter. So this is now, we're at a different age where these mega conglomerates have so much influence on our public policy. So the reality is you cannot just escape that by saying, oh, these are just private companies. And now we're getting fucking screwed to the T because of this, because we literally, we tell the truth. And they sat there saying that they were going to go after people in the administration. That's why I was more scared of a Joe Biden administration, because I knew that this was going to happen and idiots were going to become cheerleaders to it just because they hated Trump so much. And look where we are now. And people might be laughing, the people who hate us, and say, ha, 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 like that serves you right for saying conspiracy. The thing is, we never said conspiracies here, actually. And the crazy thing is, they can consider anything a conspiracy now. So if you want to make a YouTube channel, another one, blah, 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 like eventually they're going to be like, oh, what you said is conspiratorial, and shut it down. We're entering 1984, and people laughed when I said this. Like, we're entering fucking 1984. Like, war is peace. Like, and it's just unnerving to see how the progressive movement has been sheep-herded into being the next generation of liberals through emotional control. They control people through emotions, through displays. Now everybody was talking about AOC's fucking little drama, and they weren't talking about what people really needed. And now look what happens on the back end. Who's going to be fucking talking about this? Now everybody's so fucking hyper-focused on AOC. Like, this is how they fucking do things. Narrative control, people.
Mitigating damage, man. Mitigating damage. Is this mitigating damage? And as soon as I speak out against it, I'm told it was because I'm a white male with privilege, and that's why I have the feelings I want. F you. Look at what they're doing, ladies and gentlemen. And this is just the beginning. This is the great purge. It's coming on. And it's just totally disgusting. You stand behind this shit?
Yeah. Even if you disagree with us, you have to we have the right to say things we say, and everything we say on this show for the most part, like, unless we say it's our opinion, we back it up with sources. And the funny thing is, even the election stuff we did, and some of the things we put only on Rockfin. So this is crazy. It's probably our Epstein stuff doesn't help either.
No. But it was so long ago. We haven't even talked about it in God knows how long. It's been over.
And everybody talked about Epstein. We would have to go to see if they shut down other channels that talked about Epstein, because we have lots of views on our Epstein stuff.
They start people with the momentum, like we talk about it. Remember the whole thing with the Robinhood stock when we talked to the gentleman yesterday, Gavin Mario Wax? It's about stopping momentum. You stop momentum, you shut everything down. Frank Analysis was starting to gain momentum. He was starting to get out there. People were starting to know him. He was starting to tickle people in the wrong way that he was going after him. Twitter, you can just see his YouTube channel getting ready to take off to start getting that. We see those things when they springboard and stuff like that. Graham, he was at a 79,000, 80,000. He was about to start springboarding some more. He was doing well, working his way up. They stop and slow down your momentum as much as they can because they don't want you to get the voice out there. They don't want a dissenting voice against what they got to say. And they have millions. They don't give a shit. The whole thing about YouTube is whatnot is like, You could shut them down. They don't care. These people are going to move over to something else because they're all connected. They're in one big club, fam, and we ain't in it. And like you said before, George Carlin said, they're not coming with Gestapo boots and helmets and stuff like that. They're coming with jeans and Nike shoes and whatnot. They're coming cryptically, and baby, they are here.
How else would you? Otherwise, you'd recognize them, right? This is a different kind of mask that they wear, and it's an open mask. It's a pretty face mask. It's the same thing with the imperialism of the Democratic Party. It's the same type of imperialism. It's just a prettier face on imperialism, and that's why they want to shut this channel down, because we say shit like that, because we tell you the truth. It's fucking
Biden.
crazy.
We gotta vote for Joe Biden. We gotta mitigate damage because Orange Man bad. No shit. No shit, there's not one person in this studio over here that ever said go vote for Donald Trump. But you got to be able to look at things and recognize. Are you serious? 16 million he took from big tech, and they were censoring the Hunter Biden story left and right. And whether you believe it or not, it was a fucking sign that says, look at what they're doing, and if they can do this to them, they can do it to anybody.
And not to mention the fact that that from that moment on, the election was already manipulated, because you couldn't get people access to the real information on Biden's record. So you're manipulating now giant platforms. You're manipulating what gets on YouTube. You're making journalists have to quit their jobs because they're not allowed to talk about that. And we're in an age where they've gotten parts of the left, and I mean the left, to cheer this on, because they would rather have an authoritarian state than have people they disagree with. And so that is extremely dangerous, because I don't think America is necessarily going to be the country where, we get a right-wing white supremacist in power in the same way that you think it's going to be Hitler. I think it's going to be somebody that pretends they're not racist, that pretends that they're inclusive, that pretends, that they're all loving and encompassing. No, not Snow.
In the garden.
Coin.
But Snow in the garden is all soft. These people are out here to attack us and our way of life. I thought Snow was trying to be like elegant with the, with the manicure and looking at the roses, and it's like these people are vicious and they're coming for us. By the way, guys, over on Rockfin, you guys are joining in. We already have 42 people there. Let's try to get to 100 today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send a sign to YouTube that they're not going to shut us up. They're not going to slow us down, that we will prevail. I'm not just saying what we say is right. I'm talking about the people, that we have a right to our voice. No matter what they say, this isn't a private company. These places have become the public square.
Yep.
And that's it. So that's why they should be nationalized. And I'm saying don't even nationalize these assholes. Just shut them down. Let's crush them. And let's crush the monetary system. Let's get on over to Rockfin.
If we don't get nationalization, shut it down. Yeah. And we need to organize protests with all independent media, 100%, because this is, they for too long they've gotten away with this, and because they have Google, they're Google basically we're trying to take on Google because Google owns YouTube, and so Google is they control everything. You go on Google, boom, they control your emails, they control all these things. Like this is like the monsters we're fighting, big tech. That's the real fascism. That's your real enemy. It's these people behind the scenes, the very few elites that control 90% of the media. 6 companies own 90% of the media. Yeah. It's probably more now because all these people have combined and etc. Like, this is insane. Johnny, did you want to show what they actually told us?
Yeah, so about an hour ago, a little over an hour ago, we got this email. It says, "Hi, the Convo Couch. During a recent review, our team of policy specialists carefully looked over the videos you uploaded to your channel, the Convo Couch. We found that a significant portion of your channel is not in line with our YouTube partner program policies. As of today, your channel is not eligible to monetize, will not have access to monetization tools and features, super chats, and ad revenue. Please go to your monetization page to read more about that." Okay. Wow. We know this is tough news, and sometimes we make difficult decisions. We have a responsibility to ensure our community is safe for creators, viewers, and advertisers. At the same time, we understand that we may have unintentionally made mistakes. We'll be able to apply again in 30 days. So you go to monetization. Your channel is no longer eligible to monetize. What should you do next? Review our feedback. They're saying harmful content, fam. Content that focuses on controversial issues and that is harmful to viewers. What? Harmful content? Hold on, let's learn more. Let's learn more about harmful content here. Harmful content.
Yeah, what do they classify as harmful?
Because everything is so broad and ambiguous.
On purpose.
On purpose.
They need to get sued. This is like disgusting.
Somebody just made a tweet about us.
Shocking content.
I'll put it in the folder.
I don't see anything about harmful content in here.
Listen,
So
we know this is bullshit,
it's
right?
bullshit.
We know this is vague, bullshit, it's broad, it's harmful content, and they don't tell you what specifically is going on.
It's harmful to their fucking pockets, and they're
Exactly.
fucking, like, they're pissed off that
Their narrative, it's harmful.
their fucking narrative is getting exposed. That's the harmful content. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not being harmed, you're actually being educated. And that's what they're afraid of. It's just fucking disgusting. I know we have
Let me run through these super rays real quick because there's so many of them. I don't want to get them out of the thing.
Hey,
And
we
then
have Jackson on.
Yeah, we have Jackson.
we're gonna have
waiting,
Jackson on.
But we have to finish this segment.
Okay,
we'll show
all right,
the
go ahead.
tweets. We'll show the tweets.
Yeah. Let's. I'm sorry, guys. I'm all over the place. I apologize. I also put another tweet in there that somebody made a tweet, kind of apologizing. So let's go. Let's get to the next one. The first one.
We sent that out as a tweet. Fee said, "What'd you say here, Fee?"
Well, folks, we've been entirely demonetized. Let's see how many people will care about independent leftist media. I said leftist because a lot of people think, oh, it's just a bunch of QAnoners. Media now being directly targeted by YouTube, aka Google, for taking away from mainstream media and telling the truth, because that's why we're being targeted. Now I hope you understand why I'm extremely anti-censorship. This is why I'm a free speech absolutionist, because I just think that any sort of, budge like thing you give in, they're gonna take it and run with it. And like now every fucking single one of us is gonna come under attack because some of us okayed it in the beginning, and it's not okay to do that. I don't care if you think somebody's Vosh, one of the most vile people I have ever heard, one of the stupidest people that spreads misinformation, trying to tie Marxist theory into capitalism,
Into shilling for the Democratic
voting
Party.
for Joe Biden. It's completely conspiratorial. It's completely misinformation, miseducating a lot of young people, Gen Z. I still think the guy deserves a platform to tell his fucking lies so I can contradict them and tell you he's a fucking moron.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, as much as I fucking think he is harmful and damaging, I'm not going to sit there and say take him down, because I know then who am I to decide what people fucking hear? Like, this is bad.
Frank Analysis also, I haven't even been monetized for 2 months and YouTube just demonetized me. This is absolutely unfair and predatory for a corporation to go after a small channel like mine who only just began to grow. And we talked about that earlier.
All right, so we got Ford Fisher over here. Ford Fisher was on the show. What does Ford Fisher do? He goes out and he documents the Boogaloo Boys, the
Black Lives
Proud
Matter.
Boys, Black Lives Matter. He's in the streets. He's showing the real truth. So when you got all this narrative going online, you can say, wait a second, let's look at Ford Fisher. He's actually out there documenting what the people have to say, fam.
Yeah, so he said, breaking, after me spending the last week criticizing Team YouTube's takedown of my raw footage from January 6th, they have just demonetized my entire channel. So they're taking down everybody's raw footage from January 6th. So that should be probably something they don't want us to show. And
Why
then
would
he
they
says,
want us to show that historical? That's
because
like
they want to
history.
hide fucking.
Like, what the
Because
they
here's
want-
the thing. It's more harmful to them because people aren't saying, wow, these people are awful. They're like, why are they so mad? And they're starting to talk about it. Like, wait a second. And then we talk about what happened all summer when
We're
they talk about the
talking
Black
about
Lives Matter
unity.
thing. They're talking about all these people fighting.
being mad.
You saw the meme of the Black Lives Matter and the Proud Boys giving a dap. That is what they fear more than anything.
Yeah.
The biggest harm that can come to the imperialistic state is its
people
own
uniting.
citizens.
Yep.
The biggest threat is their own citizens, because their own citizens lived in a free society, read the information for themselves, and say, wait a second, these people on top who are in control here, they're playing us. We got a rigged game right now in Wall Street too as well. We got a rigged game when it comes to our media. Look what's going on. This is fascism.
I said it last night. I said I think we're actually much closer to a class war against these people, and that's why they're trying to divide us. The reason I think we're much closer is because look at what's happening. They're targeting us. They're targeting independent media. They're targeting everybody that they deem vile or harmful in any way by however many broad standards they have. And then they're targeting also people's pockets. They're not giving you a fucking stimulus. You still don't have fucking healthcare. We're in the middle of a fucking pandemic. They're thinking if we can't do this, we have to shut down again. Like they're literally discussing shutting down again. Like this, and they're not giving you shit till April. Like, and then on top of that, you have Wall Street blatantly coordinating with the fucking government to rob the little guy when they try to fight back. Do you think people aren't pissed off?
Yeah.
I mean, people are so ready to fucking wage against these people, but they don't want you to think that. They want you to stay divided. They want you to fight each other. This is why, because we've been talking about unity in this fucking channel. We've been talking about talking to people we don't agree with on this fucking channel. We just had the guy that was fucking speaking about that who's a fucking Republican. Like, this is dangerous to them. We are a fucking threat because we tell the fucking truth, and we're going to go after these fucks no matter what.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. I'm encouraging some of those people that I call neo-progressives. Let's put up Caleb over here because Caleb shared the tweet as well.
Yeah.
Caleb Maupin's coming on the show Friday, which is going to be awesome. But he said outrageous and stuff. And let me just encourage some of those people on the left. I'm talking to them because obviously, this is when we started. We came out of that whole faction fam of the activists and the people we know on the left and stuff. And seeing some of those people on the left who have kind of like gone along with this ideology and say it's okay because they think that the Trumpers and the MAGAs are so bad and all that shit that they allow the censorship to happen. You can change. You can switch. You can say, you know what? I give you permission to have the courage to look at the people that you're working with and say sorry. You're wrong. We don't do this. This is not what we do. You have to look at the nuance of the situation. Anybody can have their coming to Jesus moment. Anybody can turn around, and anybody can say they were wrong and they're sorry. You can show the next tweet. Johnny, would you like to read it? You want me to read it?
No, you can read it.
Thread. With time to reflect and seeing Silicon Valley censorship onslaught, I regret this tweet I made in the heat of the moment. Whether certain cable YouTube outlets misled audience with dishonest claims lacking real evidence, they shouldn't be targeted. Don't agree completely with the lacking of the evidence and stuff like that. And,
yeah, we don't. Yeah.
I don't agree with that part. But saying that you made a tweet in the heat of the moment and apologizing for it, and it was the tweet we talked about. Anybody can have a coming to Jesus moment. Thank you very much, Jordan, because I think this is directly right at us. You didn't mention our names, but we know it was us. And so thank you very much for stepping up and saying you were wrong. Because we said this too when they took down your footage. They shouldn't do that, whether we like Jordan or not, whether we like Vosh or not, whether we like these people or not. You don't deserve to have your voice taken away from you. You don't. Yeah. And I appreciate, and that was man of you to step up and at least do that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, we can all reflect and see, sometimes we get caught up in anger and hate and like we make tweets and we make things that we don't mean. And, like I totally get that. I mean, I still don't agree with the whole like lacking evidence, but again, that's the whole point. You don't have to agree that on what we say. But to say that people should get taken down now, look what's happening now. Everybody's getting fucking taken down, including so many people on the left that are actually telling the truth, that have actually debunked QAnon. They're gonna go. Yeah. They're all being targeted. Yeah. Yeah. Was never about the right wing. Even the domestic terrorist thing that they're trying to push. Yeah. That's not about right wingers, guys. It's about you. It's about people. It's about you being angry, and they don't want you to be angry at them. So they have to make up somebody for you to be angry at. Yeah. So that's what is happening. And nobody's denying the obvious issues on race and white supremacy that this country has, but it's systemic. So if you want to change that, you have to change the fucking system. And we can't change the fucking system when we have psychopaths in power. Yeah. And
I apologize for calling you a weasel, Jordan. So I shouldn't have done that, but heat of the moment and angry about this because we knew this type of stuff was coming. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not changing my views and my point of views. In fact, like we're even talking about hitting the road right now that something might be going on in Arizona with an actual audit and account of the images that we're trying to secure and see what's going on because we're going to still continue to follow election integrity no matter what. No matter what, they'll never stop us from talking about this shit. We'll never stop.
We'll do it. We did it way before Trump. We'll do it way after Trump.
Exactly.
It's nothing to do with Trump.
Let's bring in Hinkle.
And real quick, just to finish up what Ford Fisher was saying is that they actually responded to Ford here. He said, I spent the last week to get a reply from Team YouTube as to why they would ban raw footage of the most historic day of Trump's presidency. When they finally replied, I earnestly tried to ask what I could do to resolve the issue. They replied and they said that his video was removed because it didn't include countervailing views or sufficient context of the claims made in the footage. As videos can be embedded across the web, we only allow this content to remain on the platform if there's appropriate context within the video itself.
Unless you say what we want you to say.
Yeah, in other words.
Unless you say what you... I mean, they're telling the journalist what context he has to put it in from what he sees. And, in other words, don't tell us what you saw and what you think. What we saw and we think.
Right.
Sorry,
no. And Ford, literally, if you watch his videos, he just literally stays behind the camera and asks, like, sometimes he asks questions, but most of the time, he literally just puts out what's literally happening. So you want him to spin a narrative is what you want him to do. You pieces of shit.
Yeah,
you fucking fascistic motherfucking warmongering pieces of shit.
Like, look at that, dude. That's fucking crazy.
I'm going to fucking curse at them until they shut me down because they can go fuck themselves. Like, this is fucking disgusting. We have Jackson waiting, so let's finish this up.
Yeah, and then he said that basically his uncut footage showing the crowd reacting and chanting "Fight for Trump" ahead of the insurgency was removed for not presenting a counter view to the president. So that's pretty ridiculous.
So you
honestly.
want people to fucking not cheer for Trump, basically? Like, I don't understand. Like, what the fuck is... They're so vague too. They make shit up, Johnny. They're just making shit up.
And then they put a foot in their mouth when they actually do answer like that, and they show who they really are.
They show who they really are.
So that's that segment.